Welcome to You Fantasy Football. In this edition of the video cast, we're going to be talking about Fred Taylor and his draft position and where I'm ranking him. Fred Taylor's current average draft position is 7.03. His status is he's the starting running back on Jacksonville, but he splits carries with Maurice Jones-Drew. Jones-Drew is somewhat of a TD vulture, but not to the extent that he completely robs Taylor of almost all of his touchdowns. Last year, Taylor finished the season on fire. He had, in his last 5 games, he had 5 games over 100 yards, including one 132-yard game and one 147-yard game. He also had 4 touchdowns in that span, and he finished the season with 1,202 yards and 5 touchdowns. Now Taylor is not a threat to catch the ball. He only had 9 receptions with 58 yards. That's more Maurice Jones-Drew territory. But he did only have 1 fumble all season, and he really picked up the pace after starting off slow. He didn't have one 100-yard game until the week that he started. Week 12 is when he started his dash, and he had 5 100-yard games. So you're looking at a guy that ended the season great, and that's something that can't be discounted in fantasy football. I always look at how the player finishes the season. Fred Taylor finished the season great. He did not play in the last game at Houston, but I think that had more to do with playoff positioning than it did him being injured. He was healthy all last season, and he showed that he's a talented back when he's healthy. He averaged 5.4 rushing yards per attempt, which is a great average, and he was really looking good towards the end of the season, breaking off some long runs. So his ADP is 7.03. I think he's worth a 6th rounder. I think he's worth a round earlier. I think he's a little bit undervalued because of his injury ridden past and because of Maurice Jones-Drew. Now Maurice Jones-Drew is going to take a lot of his fantasy points away, but Jacksonville loves to run the ball, and they're without a lot of their receivers right now. It looks like Joey Porter's going to miss at least a good third of the season, and some of their other wide receivers like Dennis Northcutt are having injury problems. So the Jacksonville is going to lean on the running game. So Taylor is going to get his carries, and you can probably count on him for getting about 15 carries every game. And if Maurice Jones-Drew goes down, of course he is the guy. His workload will probably go to 23. And one bad sign is center Brad Meester on the offensive line. He's out at least 8 weeks now. But the good news is that he with a consistent quarterback in David Garrard, he's finally broken through. Had that good season, and I think David Garrard helps the Jaguars' offensive cohesiveness. And whereas Byron Leftwich, he was a little too helter-skelter for them. So he's going to have to overcome Brad Meester, but I think he's going to do that. I think he's going to get more carries because the wide receivers are going to have problems staying healthy, it looks like, at least with their wide receiver 1, Joey Porter. So they're going to be looking to run more. So look for his workload to increase along with Maurice Jones-Drew. And I think at round 7 you're getting great value on Fred Taylor. And if he can stay healthy this season, you will not be disappointed.